When we think about royal opulence and splendor, we usually picture the court of Versailles, where excess knew no bounds, and one of the most prominent historical figures from this era was Marie Antoinette, the French queen with a tragic fate and a tarnished reputation. But beyond the rumors and gossip, Marie had some rather quirky habits that set her apart from other royals. But how did her infamous gambling habits impact her reputation? Did Marie Antoinette really have her goats perfumed? And the question on everyone's mind is, did she really think a monkey in a suit would make a fashionable statement? Today, we'll waltz through the whimsical world of Marie Antoinette here at History Galleries. So, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to join the court without worrying about a dress code. Marie Antoinette's hairstyles were legendary for their height and complexity. Her most famous style, the pouf, often reached up to 3 feet tall, about 1 meter, and included elaborate decorations like feathers, flowers, and even model ships. One of the most bizarre designs featured a full-scale model ship, complete with sails and rigging, to celebrate a naval victory. Imagine trying to navigate a doorway with a fleet on your head. Her hairdresser, Léonard Autier, spent hours crafting these architectural wonders using wireframes, pads, and copious amounts of pomade. To maintain these masterpieces, Marie used a special pillow designed to support her neck and keep her hair intact while she slept. This contraption allowed her to rest without crushing her elaborate hairdos. Her hairstyles were not just about fashion, but also served as political statements. They allowed her to make grand entrances and dominate social scenes at Versailles. However, her extravagant hair made her a target for satirists who mocked her excess in pamphlets and cartoons. Her towering tresses became a symbol of the monarchy's excess, literally and figuratively, head and shoulders above the rest in terms of indulgence. Marie Antoinette had a peculiar way of escaping the pressures of royal life by pretending to be a peasant in her custom-built village, the Hameau de la Reine. This wasn't just a few quaint cottages, it was a fully functioning hamlet, complete with a farmhouse, a dairy, a mill, and a working farm. Think of it as an 18th century version of a theme park, but for one very privileged visitor. Marie and her friends would don simple, rustic outfits and engage in pastoral activities like milking cows and harvesting crops. However, these cottages might have looked rustic on the outside, but inside, they were as luxurious as any palace room. It was like glamping before glamping was cool. Interestingly, Marie even perfumed her goats to ensure they smelled as delightful as the rest of her surroundings. This whimsical retreat allowed her to play at simplicity while avoiding the actual hardships faced by real peasants. Unsurprisingly, the extravagant cost of the Hameau and the Queen's role-playing were not well received by the public, especially as France's financial situation grew increasingly dire. Marie Antoinette's love for luxury extended to her choice of pets, and she had some rather peculiar companions. While most people might settle for a dog or cat, Marie's pet preferences were as extravagant as her lifestyle. Among her unusual pets was a pug named Mops. Now, a pug isn't that strange, but how she treated him was remarkable. Mops had his own satin cushion and dined on gourmet meals. Imagine being a pug in Versailles, probably the only dog in history with a personal chef. Well, not the only one. However, the real stars of her menagerie were her Angora cats and pet monkeys. Yes, monkeys. These little primates were dressed in tiny outfits and often caused a ruckus in the opulent palace. Picture a royal ball with chandeliers sparkling, violins playing softly, and suddenly a monkey in a miniature suit dashes across the ballroom floor. Now that's a party. Marie also kept sheep, but not just any sheep. These were specially bred for their silky wool and often adorned with ribbons. She paraded them around in her personal play village, the Hameau de la Reine, where she and her ladies-in-waiting pretended to be shepherdesses. Nothing says authentic country life like a dressed-up sheep. Perhaps the most bizarre were her exotic birds, kept in elaborate gilded cages. She would spend hours listening to their melodious tunes, making her the original birdwatcher with a bit more gold leaf involved. Marie Antoinette had an obsession with perfumes. a necessity in the less-than-fragrant environment of 18th-century Versailles. Her signature scent was a luxurious blend of rose, jasmine, and orange blossom with a hint of musk, created by the famous perfumer Jean-Louis Fargeon. This wasn't just a dab behind the ears. Marie was known to drench herself in her favorite perfumes, ensuring a fragrant cloud followed her everywhere. Her perfume collection was vast and diverse, featuring scents for every occasion and mood. She even had her linens, gloves, and wigs perfumed. It's safe to say that if Febreze had existed back then, Marie would have had a lifetime supply subscription. Notably, she even perfumed her goats at her rustic retreat, the Hameau de la Reine, adding a bizarre twist to her fragrant obsessions. The strong fragrances also served a practical purpose, masking the less-than-pleasant odors of a palace where bathing was infrequent and hygiene standards were lacking. Marie Antoinette had a notorious addiction to gambling, particularly fond of card games like Faro. These weren't friendly, low-stakes games. She often gambled away staggering sums of money. Picture a casino night at Versailles where the bets were so high they could fund a small army, or at least a lavish ball. Her gambling sessions were grand affairs, lasting all night and involving the highest stakes. Losing thousands of livres in a single night wasn't uncommon, and Marie's addiction was a well-kept open secret at court. Despite the financial strain it placed on her, she continued to gamble, often borrowing money to stay in the game. It was the 18th century version of maxing out your credit cards, but with far more scandalous consequences. King Louis XVI, known for his more frugal nature, was reportedly exasperated by her gambling habit, but Marie saw it as an escape from the rigid formalities of court life. Her gambling escapades were a source of scandal and gossip, with the court whispering about her losses. Yet for Marie, it was a way to unwind and indulge in a bit of excitement amidst the otherwise monotonous routines of royal duty. Marie Antoinette had a secret life as an amateur spy, using invisible ink and coded letters to communicate with her allies during the turbulent times leading up to the French Revolution. It sounds like something out of a James Bond movie, but this queen had her own version of espionage. She often wrote secret letters to her family in Austria and to loyalists within France, using invisible ink made from lemon juice. These letters could only be read when held over a flame, a technique straight out of a spy novel. Marie also used a cipher code, which involved substituting numbers for letters to keep her communications confidential. Her most trusted confidant in these spy games was Count Axel von Fersen, a Swedish diplomat and rumored lover. The two exchanged numerous coded messages, plotting escape plans and seeking foreign aid. One of their most famous attempts was the ill-fated flight to Varennes, where the royal family tried to flee France but was captured. Despite the failure, Marie's dedication to her clandestine correspondence showed a resourcefulness and cunning that belied her frivolous public image. Marie Antoinette's life was filled with luxury, drama, and dental issues. One intriguing aspect of her story involves her severe dental problems, common in the 18th century when dental care was rudimentary. As sugar became popular in European diets and toothpaste was non-existent, her love for pastries took a toll on her teeth. In her early years, Marie was known for her bright smile, but by her late 20s, she suffered from tooth decay, abscesses, and gum disease. Dental treatments of the era were crude and painful, with primitive tools and little to no anesthesia. Imagine having to maintain a regal image while dealing with constant toothaches. No wonder she had such a penchant for escapism. Her dental woes led to significant tooth loss. Accounts describe how she frequently held a handkerchief to her mouth to hide her missing teeth and swollen gums, speaking less in public to avoid embarrassment. It's said some of Marie Antoinette's teeth were extracted and preserved after her death, with one allegedly encased in a locket and passed down through generations. Talk about a creepy family heirloom. What did you inherit from your ancestors? Oh, just a royal tooth. One of the strangest rumors to circulate about Marie Antoinette was that of a phantom pregnancy. In the late 1780s, whispers spread through the court that the queen was expecting another child. Her apparent weight gain and occasional fainting spells fueled the speculation, leading many to believe she was indeed pregnant. However, as months passed with no royal baby in sight, the rumors took a bizarre turn. Some claimed that Marie was faking the pregnancy to distract from political issues or to garner sympathy from the public. Others speculated that she had suffered a miscarriage and was hiding the truth. The whole affair became a tabloid sensation, with pamphlets and cartoons mocking the Queen's supposed condition. In reality, the supposed pregnancy was likely a combination of stress, poor diet, and perhaps even medical issues that caused her symptoms. The episode highlighted the intense scrutiny and often cruel gossip that surrounded Marie Antoinette throughout her life. So, what other outrageous royal antics do you want to hear about? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to History Galleries for more tales that will leave you royally entertained.